Belief and influence, two powerful forces that shape the world. But what happens when they converge in the realm of leadership? Imagine a world where leaders harness the power of belief to inspire and influence their teams. An environment where trust is the bedrock, where every team member feels valued and heard. When a leader truly believes in their mission, their passion becomes infectious. It's a ripple effect that fuels the team's drive to perform, innovate, and excel. Consider the tale of a well-known leader. Let's call him John. John was an ordinary man with an extraordinary belief. He believed that he could change the world, one idea at a time. His belief was so strong, so palpable, that it inspired those around him. His team didn't just follow him, they believed in him, in his vision. They were willing to go the extra mile, put in the extra effort, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Now let's take a moment to delve into the heart of this phenomenon. What is the power of belief? It is the ability to inspire, to motivate, to instill confidence. It is the catalyst that sparks innovation, that drives success. It is the cornerstone of leadership. And what about influence? The power of influence lies in its ability to shape perceptions, to guide decisions, to steer the course of action. It is a tool that leaders can wield to direct their teams towards a shared vision, a common goal. It is the rudder that steers the ship of leadership. So, what happens when belief and influence converge in leadership? They create a potent cocktail of inspiration and motivation. They transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. They ignite the spark that fuels the fire of success. They create leaders who don't just lead, but inspire. As we can see, the power of belief and influence is not to be underestimated in leadership. Now let's delve deeper into how to communicate effectively as a leader. And remember, as we journey together through this exploration, in the realm of leadership and beyond, it's all about good vibes, good tribes. Effective communication is not about talking the most, but rather about making the most impact. So what makes a leader's communication truly impactful? Well, it's all about the principles that underpin it. The first of these is clarity. Great leaders are clear in their communication, leaving no room for ambiguity or misunderstanding. They express their thoughts and ideas in a way that is easy to comprehend. Think of Martin Luther King, Jr. and his "I Have a Dream" speech. His message was clear, simple, and resonated with people worldwide, sparking a wave of change. Next comes empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's about seeing things from another person's perspective, acknowledging their feelings, and validating their experiences. Leaders who communicate with empathy create an inclusive environment where everyone feels heard and valued. Consider Mahatma Gandhi, who led India to independence through nonviolent resistance. His empathy for his people drove his communication style, making him a beloved and respected leader. The third principle is authenticity. Authenticity in communication means being real, genuine, and transparent. Authentic leaders express their true thoughts and feelings, and they're not afraid to show vulnerability. This authenticity builds trust and fosters a sense of camaraderie. Look at Brené Brown, a research professor and author renowned for her work on vulnerability and courage. Her authentic style of communication has touched millions, inspiring them to embrace their imperfections and live wholeheartedly. Now let's talk about storytelling. Storytelling is a powerful tool in leadership communication. It helps leaders to connect with their audience on a deeper, more emotional level. Stories can inspire, motivate, and drive people to action. They can also help to illustrate complex ideas in a more digestible way. Take Steve Jobs, for example. His product presentations were always laced with compelling narratives, making them captivating and memorable. Finally, we have consistency. Consistency in communication helps to build trust and credibility. Leaders who are consistent in their messaging show that they are reliable and trustworthy. They follow through on their words with actions, reinforcing their commitment to their vision and values. Think of Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group. His consistent communication style, coupled with his actions, has cemented his reputation as a visionary and innovative leader. These principles lay the foundation for effective leadership communication. But how can leaders put these principles into practice? Let's find out. Knowing the principles of effective leadership communication is one thing, but applying them is another. So, how can leaders enhance their communication skills? Let's start with one of the most crucial, yet often overlooked elements of communication: listening. Leaders who excel in communication are not just great talkers. They're also exceptional listeners. They understand that effective communication is a two-way street, and they make a conscious effort to listen to their team's ideas, concerns, and feedback. But how do you cultivate effective listening? It starts with being fully present in your conversations. Avoid distractions, maintain eye contact, and show that you're genuinely interested in understanding the other person's perspective. Next, let's discuss empathy. Communicating with empathy is about more than just understanding another person's feelings. It's about acknowledging those feelings and validating them. This doesn't mean you always have to agree with the other person, but it does mean recognizing their emotions and letting them know that their feelings are important. To communicate with empathy, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Ask yourself, how would I feel in their situation? This can help you respond in a more understanding and compassionate manner. Now, let's talk about clarity and authenticity. Clarity in communication is about making your message easily understood. Avoid jargon and overly complicated language. Instead, use simple, straightforward language that everyone on your team can understand. But clarity alone isn't enough. Authenticity is equally important. People are more likely to trust and follow leaders who are authentic and genuine. To communicate authentically, be true to yourself. Share your thoughts and feelings honestly, and don't be afraid to show vulnerability. Authenticity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of effective leadership communication. Lastly, let's touch on the importance of feedback. Feedback is a powerful tool for growth and improvement. As a leader, it's important to give constructive feedback to your team, but it's equally important to be open to receiving feedback yourself. Remember, feedback is not criticism. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. So embrace feedback, both giving and receiving, as a vital part of your communication strategy. By putting these tips into practice, leaders can enhance their communication skills and inspire others to follow their lead. But the journey towards becoming a more influential and inspiring communicator doesn't stop here. There's always room for growth and improvement. So keep learning, keep practicing, and keep striving to become the best communicator you can be. Good vibes, good tribes. Great leadership communication is not a mystery, but a skill that can be learned and honed. Are you ready to unlock the secrets? Just as an artist uses a palette of colors to create a masterpiece, a great leader uses a palette of communication skills to inspire, motivate, and guide. In our journey, we've explored the power of belief and influence, the principles of effective leadership communication, and practical tips to enhance these skills. Now let's bring it all together. The power of belief and influence is the backbone of any leader's communication. It's the secret ingredient that adds authenticity and credibility to your words. When you truly believe in your vision, your passion becomes infectious, inspiring others to follow your lead. Next, we've delved into the principles of effective leadership communication. Clarity, consistency, and empathy are the three pillars that hold up this foundation. As a leader, your message must be clear and concise, your actions consistent with your words, and your approach empathetic to the needs and feelings of your team. We've also shared some practical tips to enhance your leadership communication. Active listening, asking the right questions, and providing constructive feedback are just a few of the tools you can use to foster open and honest dialogue. But remember, the journey to becoming a great communicator doesn't end here. Just like any other skill, it requires continuous learning and practice. It's about being open to feedback, learning from your mistakes, and constantly striving to improve. So, as we wrap up this session, I invite you to reflect on these insights, apply them in your role as a leader, and observe the transformation in your communication style. Remember, great leaders are not born, they're made. By harnessing the power of belief and influence, and by applying the principles and tips we've discussed, you too can communicate like a great leader. Good vibes, good tribes.